Hey, what's up? This is Joe. This video is going to take you through the process of establishing a semi-permanent stealth camping spot in the woods of North Florida. With my sights set on finding a cooler climate in which to camp, I left the Tampa area and headed further north in the state of Florida. There was a spot I'd found last year in the Crystal River area which had served me well. I only hope no one had built a house on it yet. This is a spot that I was at last year for about 6 weeks or so. Intentionally, when I was kind of creating this spot and clearing out the brush, I made it kind of like maze-like, so there's no like straight line coming into the place, but it's pretty strange that it's exactly the way I remember it from last year. You know, I put that as kind of a sort of camouflage so I could put my like water jugs, which are white, behind that. I found that half of a cinder block somewhere and was using it as a table. And even my little kickstand coaster is interestingly still there in the exact same spot that I would park my bike. Really strange, because a lot of the times you'll come back to a place and it's, you know, changed in some way. But I'm gonna make sure I got a clear path in here and then go ahead and get my bike in here. Alrighty, here's my camp. Like I said, I stayed here last year for quite a while, just doing work. I always tell guys, it's very rare that it's acceptable to leave your stuff packed up unless you're like way the hell out there. So I sort of leave the bare minimum of stuff set up when I'm running into town and going to the library and things like that. Anything I don't want to lose, I take with me. So I'm about to go find a tree to hang this rest of a rotisserie chicken from the tree. I've never really seen any bear tracks around here. I have seen Florida black bear in the past. I had like 3 of them walking through my camp at about 4:30 in the morning outside of Destin Beach. It's not typical. The main thing that you see a lot of around here are giant Florida, I think it's a gopher tortoise or some kind of a land tortoise or something like that, which is I think threatened at the moment. But when they crash through all these dry leaves and stuff like that, it sounds like an animal much bigger than what they actually are, which, you know, as far as turtles or tortoises go, they're absolutely enormous. All right, so my plan of escaping the oppressive heat of the Tampa area was obviously effective. It's about 45 degrees out here, a little chilly, but generally I would prefer to be in weather that's a little colder because I can simply put on another layer as opposed to when it's too hot, and there ain't nothing you can do really. So I am just getting settled into a routine. Plan on staying here for at least a few weeks. I got some brake pads coming into a motorcycle shop down the highway there, so I'm probably going to pick those up, get a couple of things from the auto parts store, and maybe tackle those today, maybe tomorrow, we'll see. That is one of the biggest turtles I've ever seen. Get this guy off the road. All right, yeah, just to give you an idea, I mean, that's my hand, that's my fist right next to this thing. Absolutely enormous box turtle. It's not a tortoise. I had no idea these freaking things could get that huge, honestly. All right, so I'm at Moscello's Italian restaurant in Homestead, Springs, Florida. And it's kind of one of the cool things that you see in Florida is a lot of really great Italian-American restaurants. Ever since time began, pretty much, New Yorkers been moving down to Florida, and they bring their tradition of absolutely awesome food with them. It's extremely rare that I eat out in the States just because a lot of the restaurants are prohibitively expensive, but every once in a while you find a gem like this, which just has really good prices. And so once every so often, I'll kind of treat myself to somewhere like this. Alrighty, there she is. Your basic pepperoni, Italian sausage, anchovies, and mushrooms. All right, so loath as I am to mess up an absolute masterpiece like this, I did pick up a couple of new hot sauces the other day. Conveniently enough, I found a store selling these kind of little, almost kind of like airplane bottles, if you will, of different kind of hot sauces. These are both from Melinda's, which was a company that made a hot sauce, which I kind of grew up with as a kid. I think it was a habanero vinegar hot sauce. As I started getting more into hot sauces recently, I noticed that they've recently come out with a whole line of like seriously gourmet hot sauces like this, kind of in little plastic bottles, and they're just absolutely incredible. All right, so the first one I'm going to try is this Melinda's Black Truffle. It's got mostly cayenne pepper mash, vinegar, grated Parmesan cheese, and natural truffle flavors. Oh yeah, that works great with that pizza. It's creamy. You can taste the Parmesan a little bit. It's got some garlic in there. All right, so the next one is Melinda's Hot Pizza Sauce. And this is made with cayenne peppers, vinegar, and mostly red peppers. It's got more of a pungent kind of tanginess off of the vinegar than the last one did. Tangy, spicy, garlicky. Works perfect on this pizza. I kind of feel like I've been punched in the gut multiple times by Mike Tyson. I think that pizza weighed about 20 pounds, but the sauce that I keep coming back to in this case is the pizza hot sauce. The truffle is just kind of almost a little bit overpowering. Used sparingly is the way to approach the truffle, but I'm not generally the kind of guy to put extra sauces on pizza and things like that. But that pizza hot sauce is just perfect. All right, so I'll take you on a tour of the crib. I got obviously my tent and tarp up, a bunch of stuff from the surroundings just to kind of camouflage it even a little bit better. I added a lot of these dead palm leaves and stuff just to kind of break up the silhouette. Even though this lightweight tarp is green, it does form a silhouette when you have it strung up kind of like this in a square. So I had this which I was using earlier, which is a camo tarp, which I cut some holes in, make kind of a camo netting out of it, as it were. And like I said, just kind of breaks up the silhouette. And then of course I got some Spanish moss hanging off, and just makes it look a little bit less like somebody's living here. What was it, I think, in that show Fraggle Rock, kind of a talking leaf pile, or you know, some kind of a creature whose house was kind of built into this giant leaf pile, and it lived under the leaves or something. And I guess that's kind of what I was going for here. So, but yeah, this is an area that I like a lot. A big portion, frankly, of this area is made up of an elderly population. So people are not apt to really be looking for motorcycles anyway, but then you add just a tremendous amount of elderly people in the mix, and they just don't see you, you know. So so you really have to be on your P's and Q's. Florida, one of my least favorite places to ride a motorcycle, just simply because the traffic can really get brutal around here. But anyway, here's the camp from another perspective. Before I added all those palm leaves and stuff, even though that tarp is green, you could really kind of see the silhouette, but now it sort of blends in much better with the background. I can still probably do some work as far as sort of disguising it a little bit more, but coming from this angle was the main area that I was worried about. There's a lot of four-wheeling trails over there. This particular one is not used very frequently, but the whole area is just composed of just a maze of little trails. Last year there seemed to have been a lot more people using them. For a variety of reasons, I wanted to make sort of a semi-permanent camp and kind of chill out and get some work done, study up on some languages, make some videos. And an area like this is just really conducive to that, because you know, essentially I have no distractions at all. I just realized this shirt was probably not the best choice. I got this in the Philippines. It's kind of a, you know, a long sleeve sun shirt, but I'm going to change out of this and into something a little bit less conspicuous. So these were a couple of stumps that I picked up from maybe 500 yards away. Definitely gave me a workout getting these back here. But that has really served as a good cooking table. Obviously there's a lot of dried leaves everywhere around here, so I feel better getting my propane stove up off the ground. Nice and shady under here. I got my solar shower over that way. You can pick one of those up for about $12. Fill it up. I think it holds about 5 gallons. I need to actually figure out a way to camouflage that a little bit better, because it does kind of make just a stark black silhouette, as you can kind of see. What I'm gonna do next, I think, is take a bunch of these little pieces of that camo tarp, kind of take some Gorilla Tape and sort of join some of the pieces together like that and hang it. All right, we got what appears to be hog tracks, single hog, going this way. So I'm taking my earbuds out, got my hand on my pepper spray just in case. When I see signs of hogs, I kind of get all of my spidey senses on alert, just because I don't want to accidentally kind of stumble on a den of them, which would be really bad. So I'm just gonna kind of keep my ears and eyes open. There's a white crane. Not the first one of those I've seen in Florida. This is definitely a lot wetter than it was last year when I was out here. Yeah, water is up quite a bit higher. Got some lilies. There she goes. Almost wondering if there might not be some gators in here. Alligators typically not a threat to humans, except in a few very rare kind of scenarios. You know, they don't typically view humans as a food source. But yeah, it is cool to see all these lilies out here. Those are pretty. There's a admittedly kind of a suspicious jug. Not gonna bother to open it up and investigate further. But judging from the sweat beads and stuff on top of it, I would say probably some homemade liquor in there. You know, I don't know if somebody's intending to come back for this at some point, or maybe got too pissed and forgot about it, left it out here. None of my business, so I'm gonna keep walking. You know, coming across that jug of liquor out here kind of reminds me of last year. I was in my tent. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I heard some old boys pull up on four-wheelers and just started like getting into it, you know, just absolutely back and forth yelling at each other, using all kinds of choice words and things like that. And I thought for sure there was going to be a fight breaking out. Anyway, they fired up their four-wheelers and took off, and then I took a walk through the next day and found a bunch of trash, beer cans scattered around, and then like a little Ziploc baggie full of some type of crystalline substance. And I can only assume that maybe that's what they were arguing about. You know, you took my shit. So I took a couple of sticks and ripped the bag open, and then kind of buried the pieces of this crystalline substance in the bag deep down in the ground where nobody will ever get to it again. So I'm sure they would have hated me for that, but they were coming out here last year like clockwork, partying, raising hell in this area, and I haven't heard them yet. You know, we can only assume, you know, obviously people that use that kind of stuff don't tend to stay in the free world for very long, so who knows, but they ain't out here, and that's all right with me. I recently got on a kick of wanting to read some of the classics in American literature, and this is one of the titles that I picked up. I've also got The Grapes of Wrath, which will be next. That's what I've been doing out here, reading a lot, writing a lot, working on the computer. You know, I know a couple of the people in town, so I go in town and chat with some of them pretty much every day. It's a small enough place that after you've been here for a while, everybody kind of gets to know you. You know, I think as long as you have a good attitude and you don't act like a homeless person, generally people treat you how you act, kind of thing. All right, and yet another hot sauce review. This is a special one for me because this is probably my favorite of the extremely hot sauces. This is the Torchbearer series Garlic Reaper. It's got all natural ingredients, so no pepper extracts. It's mostly just pure Carolina Reaper and a couple of other ridiculously hot chili peppers, as well as a boatload of garlic and a few other ingredients. But this one will get you, man. This is not for the faint of heart. Absolutely torturously hot, and at the same time, absolutely delicious. When I first tried this, I had just gotten off the plane from the Philippines. For whatever reason, maybe the jet lag, whatever, it just wasn't spicy to me. And so I poured myself like a couple of big spoonfuls of it because I wanted something that was really going to burn. And it wasn't until about 30 minutes later I got a terrible stomach ache. I started sweating profusely. I had to take my shirt off and lay down, and I was just laying in a puddle of sweat, you know, for about 15 minutes before the pain subsided. But for whatever reason, you know, doing all that flying and traveling for 3 days just kind of like turned off all my taste buds. It was just an absolute nightmare once it hit my stomach. So this stuff is no joke. So now the way that I would do this, obviously I found these little plastic bottles, which I use. If I get a bottle of hot sauce, I'll just pour it in here. Just a few drops is really all you want. I know from experience. Even me, I'm pretty good with spice, but this stuff will get you extreme heat right away. Lights up your entire mouth. Oh man, even that little bit that I just put on there was a little bit too much. It burns like hell, to be honest, but but the flavor is absolutely tremendous. But I can't say enough about the Torchbearer series. Really kind of created a masterpiece with this one. This here was one of the best additions to the whole kit. This is kind of an army green microfiber towel. I got a couple of these. They kind of blend in with the rest of the surroundings, and you know, when I hang it up, it's not like a bright flag saying, hey, come look at me, I'm camped right here. You know, it's just kind of blends in. So those are absolutely awesome. All right, so last piece of this whole camouflage journey, I went to the Sportsman's store down the road and picked up this piece of real tree camo netting, and just wanted something extra to kind of drape over the bike and a little bit more inconspicuous, as it were. So anyway, it sounds like I got one hell of a thunderstorm coming my way, so I'm gonna get ready to hunker down for that, and we'll see you guys in the next video. So as always, if you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe. And as usual, I've included an optional donate link in the drop box for anybody that might like to contribute to this project. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the road.